You ever notice that everyone's an alpha male? I'm an alpha male. Be an alpha. Ugh. Look, man, there's nothing wrong with being an alpha. I've been an alpha my whole life, but you know what? It's incomplete. Alphas are strong and powerful and they stand out in a crowd. But omegas finish. Alphas start things. They have energy and power and direction. But too often when they get stuck in that alpha energy, they don't finish. Alphas start, but omegas finish. You know, in Revelation, Jesus is the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Hey guys, my name's John. A lot of people call me Rev, and some people call me Coach. Some people call me asshole. I answer to all of them, so feel free. Look, thank you for coming. It's really cool, and it would mean a lot to me if you just go in the comments and hit a fire or maybe disagree with something I said. Absolutely fine. But please hit that subscribe button and let's talk. With that out of the way, let's get deeper into this. Look, the Bible talks about David. David was a badass. He was an alpha male. He started strong. I mean, the first thing that he does after being anointed as king when he was like a kid is he shows up in a battle. He listens to this big giant Philistine talking shit, and he goes, hey, well, why don't we take that guy out? Everyone laughs at him. Yeah, right. Dude, I'll go fight the dude. Saul looks at him and goes, well, I guess he's as good as anyone else. They're all going to get murdered by this giant. And so he marches down to Shaq with a slingshot. Takes him out. Dude has courage, believes in God, lots of faith. He goes in there and he does the job. And before you know it, he's more popular than King Saul. King Saul gets pissed, but David's strong. He doesn't want to betray Saul. He wants to help make his kingdom. He wants to be his number one guy. But you know what? Sometimes leaders get jealous. But he stayed the course. He stayed in it. He became the king. He was the alpha male. He was strong. He was powerful. He was courageous. He cared about what he was doing, and he jumped in there with both feet. But did he finish well? See, David was a great alpha, but was he a omega man? I don't think he was, because the fact is he was the beginning. He was the beginning of the reign of kings, but if you look at his life, he slept with one of his top general's wives, got her pregnant, and then killed the guy so that it wouldn't look bad, and he married her. He's not finishing well. He takes a census to prove to everyone how badass he is, but you know what? It wound up hurting his nation. So he's got one son raping his half-sister, the other son killing the first guy, and then that son, Absalom, goes and tries to take over the kingdom. And rather than deal with it, David runs away. Not a great father. And he picks Solomon to be his heir, but he doesn't tell the firstborn that's left. And so Solomon winds up killing that guy. And then Solomon actually winds up worshiping other gods. David was an alpha male, but he wasn't an omega male. Remember, when Jesus is on the cross, the last words he says is, "It is finished." When he is on the cross, he feels like his father has left him. God, why have you forsaken me? But he never gave up. He stayed with it. You see, alphas start well, but omegas finish well. If we're going to be like Jesus, then we have to finish well. We can't just be alphas. We have to be omegas. Jesus shows us the omega path. David fell. Jesus was raised. Jesus didn't just start in the manger, but he walked through the whole thing. He finished. Where David failed, Jesus succeeded. If we're really serious about being men that follow Jesus, we have to finish. We can't just be alphas. We have to be omega men too. You see, alphas, they start the battles, but omegas, they finish the war. And that's what Jesus did. The Brotherhood of the Forge is about men helping other men to become finishers. Now, maybe part of becoming a finisher is learning how to start things. Maybe becoming a finisher means learning how to have courage and energy and jump on in there. Because you don't finish well if you haven't started. I mean, that's obvious, right? But how you finish is your legacy. How you start may be your notoriety, but how you finish is your legacy. See, David started well, but his legacy is tarnished. Within 2 generations, it resulted in civil war. If we want to go all the way, if we want to say like Paul does at the end of his life, you know what? I don't need to do anything more. I finished. I did what God told me to do. If you want to be a finisher, we need to move beyond the alpha energy and embrace the omega energy. That omega is the finish. If we don't have the finish, we don't have the resurrection. It's about being alpha and omega. They're both part of the masculine energy. And we need to learn that. Because as long as you're in that combat fighting role, you're not going to be all that you're supposed to be. Now, this is a little hard to share. My kids, they haven't talked to us, me or my wife, in over 2 years. And what I learned is that I have been the alpha male my whole life. I love fighting. I love it. Not just getting in the cage, not just sparring with people and wrestling and boxing. No, I fight. I compete at everything. But you can't compete at being a husband. Like, who are you fighting against? But I approached my marriage like it was a fight. I wanted to be the best husband there ever was. I looked at my children as I want to give them the best growing up experience that I can. And I had an idea of what that was. And I tried to make it happen. I had an idea of what I should be physically, and because of that, I basically destroyed my body. I was an alpha male, and I approached every single thing in my life with that competitive energy. The alpha dog, the alpha male, in the alpha wolf, they get replaced. As soon as some young buck can kick their ass, they're not the alpha male anymore. And that was happening to me. We can't approach everything in our life with the warrior energy or the king energy. You can't approach your faith with the warrior energy. When I was coming back from Australia, I wanted to move to South Central. I want to live in South Central, in the middle of the gangs and the energy that's. I wanted to go somewhere that was dangerous so everyone would know that I'm the best Christian they've ever seen. I was competing in my faith. Look, guys, I'm not lying here. When I'm trying to meditate, to be in centering prayer, to shut my mind off so I can hear that still small voice, I find myself competing. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to win at meditation. I'm trying to win when I read the Bible. I'm trying to win when I pray. How freaking sad is that? When I realized that, I learned that you can't approach everything your whole life with the energy of a warrior. You have to tap in to that omega energy. You have to tap in to that power that enables you to finish what you started. Now, I don't know about you, but that energy that I took on everything, it completely destroyed my life. For 3 years, I sat in a chair. I ate in the chair. I watched Ink Master the entire, 15 seasons? Probably 8, 9 times, the whole thing. I watched Forged in Fire 1,000,000 times. I watched Thor, Ragnarok, and Deadpool. One day I watched Deadpool 3 times, straight through. All the way through, started it at the beginning. And after watching it 2 times, I put it on again. I wound up there because when you fight every day, when you fight everything, eventually you got nothing left. You haven't nurtured the priest. You haven't nurtured the artist. You fought everything like you're the warrior king. And I needed the wild man. I needed the Moses, the John the Baptist. I needed the prophet out in the desert to baptize me into the areas of my life that I've neglected. And I'll tell you, it's hard. It's really hard. When you can walk into almost any room and know that you're probably the baddest dude there. And now you're just a normal guy. Your identity gets challenged. Okay, if I'm not the Rev, then who am I? A-O. 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 Alpha and Omega. If you want to be like Christ, you have to have both. If this Omega thing is interesting to you, if you think, you know what, maybe I need to broaden my scope. If that's interesting to you, why don't you just press that subscribe button? And you'll keep being in this conversation. And in the description down below, I'll put a link to sign up for my newsletter, and you can see all the other stuff I'm doing. And yeah, just come be a part of the Brotherhood. The Brotherhood of the Forge, we believe that it's in the fire. It's that shaping with the hammer. It's that forging of a real solid man of God. A man that keeps his promises. A man that attacks life with a vigor and an energy and a passion to finish the race. We're not a big group, but we're a committed group of brothers. Because at the end of the forging, you got to get sharpened. You got to get sharpened. And as iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens another man. It's where we got to go. I was on the anvil for a long time, getting the shit beat out of me. But now, I've got a group of guys that are helping to sharpen me, helping me to understand the word, helping me to understand the Spirit, challenging me to be the husband, to be the pastor, to be the preacher, to be the man that I'm meant to be. So join us. Even if you just want to mess with me, just come on and join us. If you got any questions, please just put them in the comments and I will eventually get to them. I might make a video answer to them, but thanks for watching, and Rev loves you.